long struggle. It's a long struggle. Coming here, so we're doing our best to do citizen oversight, even of these meetings where, how long did that woman go on about vote by mail? Which isn't that secure. We're having a problem of trying to track vote by mail because it's done by a private company in Los Angeles. And you can't really get numbers that tell you very much. And I don't think it's reliable at all. So that's the next move they're making, and it's like trying to chase, you know, where's the pea under the shell?
If you're Berkeley and you're getting...
It's a small step for mankind, but a step forward. We still need paper ballots and transparency.
I think it was focused too much on buying new technology. It didn't look at all the systemic challenges in elections. Citizens were sorely missing at the table. And everyone had left the room by the time the public comments came. So this is the only hearing all year, and the voters are really missing at the table. It's just not right. So we need to do something about that. We need to have a forum that really looks at why the activists in California are so concerned. We have no investigations going on. We have no enforcement of the law going on. And we really don't have anywhere to turn because the attention is being paid to who can get the next contract. And this kind of corporate dominance of elections and privatization is something that everyone should be concerned about.
I'm here to clean up corruption nationwide, starting with working very significant in Chicago and California, and we're going to do it. The election for Secretary of State will focus on instant runoff voting, stopping Top 2, Proposition 14, which is horrible. If that passes, it'll put an end to third parties and independents nationwide. It's called Protect the Incumbents Act is what it should be called, not Top 2 primary. And then focusing on electoral fraud, transparency. Humboldt County sets a good precedent for that. And looking forward to a campaign through November that represents the people. As today, there should have been people up on that panel, not just organizations and groups. So.
Would you please tell us your name and what you're running for?
Sure. My name's Christina Tobin. I'm the founder of the Free and Equal Elections Foundation, a non-for-profit foundation that lobbies statewide for electoral reform and creates debates nationwide. And I'm running for California Secretary of State as a libertarian. I would run independent, but it takes 125,000 signatures to get on the ballot versus 150 running on the Libertarian Party line. But I will be seeking endorsements across the political spectrum, from Greens to Constitution to independents, nationwide, from well-known, world-renowned individuals. And I look forward to breaking history.
The process was disappointing in the sense that at the beginning, as I mentioned, the emphasis was on the business, the marketplace, the economics, and talks of customers and clients. And where I would like to see the emphasis focus is more on citizen partnerships with election officials, the public's right to know and right to access to this election information. And I also strongly support the Humboldt Transparency as a way to independently verify our election results, which would be a first for California.
The process was very, very vendor-oriented. The vendors seem to have gotten 90% of the time. And I was interested in the comments from some of the registrars of voters. I finally got a little perspective of a positive nature. I thought they were asking the vendors some hard questions, and I think it was long overdue. It was unfortunate that those of us who waited until 5 o'clock to testify were given a minute or a minute and a half or 2 minutes to testify. I missed 2 or 3 of the main points that I wanted to make, and it was, I asked Evan if I could, hey, can I get another 60 seconds? He goes, oh, no, it's all over, you can't do that. So overall, I think the activists have come to a conclusion that we clearly need to be more organized and more. I guess that's the word, but it's just that we're in all these little groups throughout the country, and we're all cells. That's right. Actually, we're in these little cells. And the beauty of it is you cut off one cell and the rest of the organism lives. But the bad part is, of course, that the cells unfortunately don't communicate too well. And And so we really need to get to a point where we can have maybe a supercell and have
An organism.
an organism, yeah, an organism with many cells, and they're all, I don't want to use the word codependent, but they're, what's that word? What?
Interdependent.
Interdependent, yes.
The expectations for these kinds of hearings have to be tempered, because we know that a lot of planned business is already established, and that the public comment period is sort of an add-on that's usually at the end rather than interspersed. What I would like to see that there would be an opportunity for questions to be asked at the moment or within the time frame of the subject discussion, rather than at the end when it seems out of context. And it also seems sort of like a small token that's sort of handed out so to pacify the activists. And I think that this idea that we just want to be satisfied that we can vote on the machines or on the computers, that's all that the voters want, is also an illusion. The voters want a lot more. They want to feel that there can be an authentic transfer of powers through actual voting, and voting is being counted. And I think that the country and the citizenry knows that at heart that that's not the case in the U.S., and that we have corporatization of every aspect of our lives, and that it would be even to the level of the vote that there's privatization of the vote. And no other Western country has that, so that this trend is frightening in the sense that what control does the public have, and so we have to demand to be at the table, and that has to be the first and the mantra. That we cannot talk about the details of what we want. We first of all want to sit at the table at eye level with all the parties.
Amen.
And I think that until we get that message across, will be peripheral. And and there are lots of things that need to be dealt with. But I think that we have to talk about what is doable as a first step, and the first step is that we're equal partners in the process.
Participants. And the one thing I would disagree on is about what the voters want. Frankly, I think that the voters are, in general, not engaged. I don't think that they are aware, in many instances, of the shenanigans that go on. I mean, I talk to people every day and about voting and election integrity, and it's like, huh? What? I just go, I vote, I'm done. What's the big deal? So I think that that we need to get the public exercised about this. If they don't give a damn, nothing's going to happen. And that's the problem, is that they don't give a damn. They're so busy. If they still have a job, they're both driving back and forth to work. They get home, they cook dinner, and watch a movie and go to bed. And so to care about election integrity is like, I'm not taking on another issue. I've got too much stuff already on my plate. So if we don't get the public exercised and engaged in this, we will wake up one day, and it will be just like Germany. It'll be just like other
Germany of the past.
Germany, of the past.
We should be like Germany now.
We should be like Germany now. But yes, thank you, Germany of the past, and other dictatorships that took place with smiling faces and what do they say? Beware of the guy that pats you on the back.
Watch Sullivan Green.
Yeah. So that's my position, and I'm pretty much sticking to it.
I'm Joan Quinn. I worked my butt off to get Deborah Bowen elected. Today's hearing was extremely disappointed, to say the least. Unlimited testimony by the vendors. The representative ES&S droned on ad nauseum, was not limited at all, interrupted at all, or asked to curtail his testimony that went on and on. The public testimony didn't start till 4:30, and that's after I went up to Alan, what is his name, Goldberg, Bowen's chief deputy that was here, around 3:30, and I said, there's another panel that's going to speak. Is the public testimony going to go to 6 p.m.? And it started actually at 4:30. It ended at 5:35. And Evan Goldberg didn't bother to stay. And when I asked at my testimony why, because I wanted directed it towards him, it's because he has 2 kids he had to pick up. So I pointed out that the citizens and the audience, we all have a lot to do. But we were forced to stay. And our testimony was limited. I am not happy about what happened today. And I'm going to let Deborah Bowen know it.
I had never been to a sales meeting. And it was so overwhelming, a sales meeting, I could hardly stand it. And I kept making notes about, this isn't about people, this isn't about voting, this isn't about democracy. This is a sales meeting for technology that is the opposite of what we need when we're voting. And it's about money and product. I had never heard that. And I was actually getting upset with my stomach was upset. I was so discouraged. You know, it's not my world. And that isn't what you do at the Secretary of State's office. No. So it was very upsetting. And I decided I would do a report, and I started taking notes, commenting notes on the side. Their buzzwords they used, their sale messages they used. I know that LA County is already pre-planned. That's over and out, and there's a lot of garbage that they ask the voters. The voters don't know from up, and they're selecting the voters. All of it is a smokescreen. That's the way Logan works, and I saw it operate, and very troubled. And even when I gave my testimony, I saw nobody was being timed. I added words. I went more slowly, and then he stopped me, though he didn't stop Alan Deschert. Our community that spoke after said almost everything that I had listed in my notes, so that was very satisfying. But they don't listen, and so I don't know what to do. My image when I described to my steering committee that I was coming is that we're fighting the tides of the oceans, and it feels very discouraging. There's no more democracy. We don't know that they're accurately counted. Even that transparency project, you're counting on Diebold's tabulating at the precincts their totals, and then looking at their tabulation, there's no insurance that they've added the precinct numbers correct. And we know the totals in Diebold, that they double, the program doubles the absentee Republican voters. They found that. Richard Hayes Phillips found that. And we're not stopping the stealing of our democracy.
We just have to make it hard to rig the vote. That's all redundancy does.